Well, hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Hey, it's your host, Matt Morgan, and you are listening to another episode of Car Musings. Yay! Car Musings! How's everybody doing? How are you doing? Are you keeping your integrity in check, my friends? Is the question. Are you keeping your integrity in check? I really got to know. Because you know what? That's your legacy. That's who you are. People remember you. Keep your integrity in check. Don't lose your integrity. Don't be a sellout. Don't be an asshole. You know what? People are going to remember that, and that's going to be your name right there. So do yourself a favor. Don't be an asshole. Okay? I already have a huge asshole list. Don't be on it. Anyways, I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Always nice talking to you guys first thing in the morning and seeing how you're doing. Um, I frankly am trying to make ends meet and get through the day and all that fun stuff. And I hope things are good on your side too. But while you're just browsing around and checking the webs and all that stuff like that, why don't you check out themadmorgan.com? You don't have a stop sign, dude. What are you doing? Okay, fine. You do have a stop sign. You're a fucking dick. Check out themadmorgan.com. Or information, helpful resources, all that fun stuff. Also, there's a section there for, helping us out, throwing a few bucks our way. If you have the means, we would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Anyways, so what's new and shaking, as they say, bacon, shaking bacon, what's going on? Um, my side, I'm just taking it day to day. Lots going on in everybody's world. Hey, that's one thing that don't forget is that as much shit as you're going through, people are going through their own shit. But even though you're going through your shit and they're going through their shit, don't don't stop or don't forget to stop. And if you can help out somebody go through their shit, right? Just saying, don't forget to do that. And if you help people through their shit and they didn't come back and help you with your shit, then fuck them. You know what? Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Don't even entertain helping them with their shit a little more because obviously you don't care. You know. So just do what you got to do. But don't forget, the only way we're going to change this world is if we get our heads out of our asses and start being a little more considerate and a little more helpful, and communicate better and be nicer to people. This is the only way we're going to be able to do this. So we have to make the moments. We have to take the time. We have to make the efforts. Don't forget that. Listen to somebody. Talk to somebody. you know, be there for somebody. This is the only way that we're going to be able to do this, but we all have to make the efforts to do so. Get our heads out of our own spaces and start thinking about everybody else as well. Even in the small capacity, just like one or two individuals, whatever you can handle, but at least you're making an effort. At least you're doing something beyond your own scope, beyond just serving yourself. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Trying to make that change, trying to assist. Simple as that. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's not like, you know, they're asking for blood. Just saying. Make the efforts to make a difference beyond yourself in the world. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because if you're so self absorbed in your own shit, you'll never see beyond yourself. You'll never get beyond that. You'll be so focused on what you got going on. And how is that going to help anybody? Like, it's not going to help the greater good of things. So, all right. So, there you go. There you go. Now, what do I want to talk about today? That's always the question. What do I want to talk today about? What do you need me to talk about today? I guess is the other question. What do you need to hear? What can I help you with? And it's just, there's so many areas that you can cover. I mean, as you know, if you've listened to my episodes, I go from one direction to the other direction, up and down the scale. You know, Nothing's untouchable. There's always an option. There's always something to talk about. So the question is that what is there to talk about? Well, you know, I've thought about this long and hard. Yeah, yeah, sexual reference. I'm funny. The thing is that, well, all right, let's talk about mental health. I think that's the topic for today is mental health. Now, since the pandemic, there's been, you know, a lot of different things going on, and people have come to discover the ugly side of themselves beyond what they recognize. They don't realize that there was that ugly side of themselves. They didn't realize that, you know, they had these issues. So a lot of this stuff came to light, you know, for them. And it's just one of those things that it's just like, wow, okay. I didn't recognize I had that issue. I didn't recognize that I had the shortcoming. I didn't recognize that, you know, I had these frailties, or I didn't recognize that I had these hangups. And, you know, COVID might have been a good thing strictly for the fact that people discovered stuff about themselves, right? COVID might have just been, hey, it's beyond the fact of, you know, simply we survived the pandemic. It's kind of like an eye opener, like, wow, okay, I do have these issues. I do have these hangups. I do have this stuff that I need to address. But not everybody has. Some people still need to do a lot of fucking repair and a lot of getting their shit together. Like, seriously. Because as much as COVID, you know, the post COVID situation brought a lot of stuff to light, a lot of people just haven't inward saw that in themselves and they haven't recognized it. And it's unfortunate because this is an opportunity for them to heal. It's an opportunity for them to actually move forward to better days. But they have to identify it. Now, I've identified it because I've seen a lot of these idiots that are not willing to recognize it because they feel it's frailty, or people consider them weak, or, you know, it's not machismo and all that, macho and all that crap like that. You're only doing yourself a disservice, in my opinion, if you don't embrace the opportunity to see that. I mean, seriously, if you're not embracing the opportunity to see your shortcomings and fix them, then honestly, you're just not, you know, moving forward. You're remaining an ignorant, arrogant asshole, and you're not helping yourself. You're not helping anybody else. So, you know, that's basically what I'm saying. It's just you gotta just, you know, you gotta just move forward from that crap. You seriously do. Now I see it a lot on the road because, as you know, I spend a lot of time on the road. Hence car musics, right? I spend a lot of time on the road. I spend a lot of time driving. I spend a lot of time dealing with all these assholes, a lot of different people, a lot of different attitudes, a lot of different stuff like that. And I know that these problems exist, you know. And it's funny because a lot of the problems that you see, mental issues, there seems to be common things like types of vehicles that they drive. It's funny. You know, people are like, yeah, yeah, right. Like, that's everybody. No, it's true. They actually seem to hover towards certain make and models of cars. Like, for instance, the biggest assholes on the road, and we're talking a high 90s on this one, Ram truck drivers. These are insecure little boys and girls who, for some reason, need to feel empowered in their big vehicles, and they drive like assholes. They're aggressive. They're complete douchebags. Nobody likes them, but they're like, oh, look at me. You know, and they're feeling all high and mighty, popped up in their little fucking car and their little truck and everything else, which has probably never seen a day's work like themselves. And they feel so empowered. And it's just like, it's laughable. I'm sitting there looking at them going, oh, fuck, here we go. Here we go. Fucking Ram fucking driver. Holy crap. Wonder what fucking shit we're gonna have to deal with today. And that's kind of like what I'm looking at going off. Frig, I don't want to deal with this asshole today. Whenever I see one that's in front of me, I'm like, oh, frig. That's all. That's all I need today is dealing with some fucking Ram truck driver. No, thank you. No frickin' thank you. But yeah, then you got the others. You got the Miss Prissy friggin' Audi drivers. Oh, and then you got I run the roads. I run the road. I'm the roads. I'm so sophisticated BMW drivers. And it's funny, people get your head shake. If you drive any of these vehicles, get your head go sit down and have an evaluation with a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Seriously. Because I don't know if you realize how out of touch you are and stuff. I'm just saying, I don't think you realize that maybe you have issues and you haven't addressed them. They're there, but you don't seem to recognize them or want to recognize them. So you're kind of pushing them aside, like they don't exist, but they do exist. You just don't want to recognize them, right? But maybe you should evaluate and get somebody to evaluate you and take a look. I'm saying, chances are there's something there that you're not seeing that maybe you should see. All right. So go have a free evaluation with some psychiatrist. Do yourself a favor. Just go do that, right? And it might help you out. On other scale of things, um, regardless of the vehicles, I can only go by what I can see, and that's usually what I see. Let's look at behavior patterns that might help you recognize that maybe, just maybe, you actually have an issue that you don't realize. If you feel a need as a parent to compete with your kids, you probably have an issue. And not a fun competition, but basically you're competing with your kid because you feel threatened or feel that you haven't, accomplished what they have in their lives. Isn't the whole point of a parent to basically elevate your child, to support them, to not compete with them, but to basically be proud of the fact that they've actually excelled beyond you? And if they're winning at something, why would you want to diminish their win? I don't understand why you would want to diminish their win. If they are succeeding at something, let them succeed, encourage them, support them. But don't sit there and bring them down. Don't sit there and compete with them. You should not be their competition. You should be their cheerleader. Realistically, you should be their cheerleader. That's the whole point of what you do. You're supposed to cheer on your kids. If you're competing with your kids, you have a problem. And I'm not talking in a supportive, kind of way. I'm talking about you're competing with your kid like, you want to outdo them. Like, that's not how it should work. So really take a look at that. Really take a look at that. If you feel that threatened by your child that you need to compete and bring them down, you got a problem that you need to deal with. So deal with it. Just say it. Now, look at people. What else is there? So let's see. If you feel constant need for, I don't know, glorification. I don't know if that's the word. Glorification, constant, pats in the back. I mean, now and then it's always good, but I mean, there's other little things that you should look at when it comes to your personality and stuff like that that you should probably take a good look at. That I don't think a lot of people do, right? So it's just one thing that you should probably consider. I don't know if that's a drive-through. Is that a drive-through? Do they have a drive-through? No, they don't have a drive-through. There's no freaking way they have a drive-through. Oh, 24 hours. That's what it is. Um, there's little things. I mean, it's really hard to spearhead. The ones I've spearheaded are the ones that are the major thing for me. But you know, there are things that you should take a point of evaluating in yourself and actually, recognize and try to deal with. Actually, that is okay, that's good. And try to recognize. You really should, because it's important for you to recognize these things and actually deal with them. Because if you're not dealing with them, you're not moving forward. Like, really take a good long look at your decision making process and say, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe I should have done that, or, you know, am I thinking straight in comparison to the majority? I mean, this is stuff that you really have to stop and sit back and go, huh, okay, well, maybe this, maybe that. Really try to take a self evaluation as to what you're doing, who you are, and all this stuff. Really do try to do some soul searching to see if there's any areas that you can improve in, to see if there's any areas that you can actually make a difference in. That's what it comes down to. Like, to just sit back and say, okay, it's fine, I'll make it through, I don't have a problem, and just to excuse things. Really, I'm sorry, just doesn't really cut it when it comes to, you know, um, moving forward and being a better person. If you're just going to make excuses for everything that you go through, right? Taking the time to actually soul search and evaluate is always important, because the thing is, it helps you grow as a person. And if you grow as a person, then you're stronger as a person, you're better as a person, you're actually moving forward as a person, you're better for yourself, you're better for other people, and it's an important thing that we should all come to recognize. We should all come to embrace. We should all, you know, um, what's the word I'm looking for? There's always room for improvement. I don't care who you are. There's always better ways that you can go about doing stuff that can make a better difference in the world. But as much as you can point fingers at everybody else that needs fixing, we all need fixing. It's not just you. It's not just them. We all need fixing, but it takes the stronger person to recognize that they have a problem and actually do something about it, right? Because anybody can wave their hands up like it's no big deal. Everybody can wave their hands up like, oh, I don't have a problem, I'm perfect. Everybody can do that simply enough. Doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean it's accurate, but people seem to do it, no problem. Whatever. I don't care. It doesn't work that way if you're going to make things better. So, everybody, even yourself listening to this right now, really take a good look at yourself. Because you're not perfect. Nobody is. And ask yourself, is there anything I could work on today to change the way I go about doing stuff? Things that people have mentioned to me that I waved off like it's nothing, right? That, oh, they're wrong. Is there stuff that you can do? There probably is. The stuff that you are in a state of denial that you don't want to recognize. Maybe you should recognize it, but you don't. So maybe you should take the time to recognize. Take the time to recognize, make an improvement, make an adjustment, and move forward. Anyways, that's up to you to decide, but do yourself a favor and do society a favor too. Think about ways that you can improve, because it does make a difference. Not saying you're broken, not saying you're completely flawed. I'm just saying that everybody, and I mean everybody, can stand to make a change for the better. So, That's all I'm going to implore on you. I don't know if my words are stumbling today, but that's what I'm saying. Just try to think of something and work on it. Make a change. Make a change, and you'll be thankful for it in the long run. Anyways, that's it. That's all for now. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. You know, life isn't easy, but it can be easier. We just have to recognize that, you know, there's always changes that can be made in this world, and it usually starts with us. We change our attitude, we change our mindset, and that can influence others, and we can help others get influenced, and they can change. And if we all change, maybe we find the harmony of communication and peace and understanding one day, because the world needs more of that, especially in these troubled times. The world's an ugly place for some reason now, and it's went a completely parallel universe. We got to get it back on track to where it was. It's really weird. It is really weird, but let's not dwell on that. Let's just dwell on moving forward and how we can make it better. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna get on with my day. Love you all. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm your host, Mad Morgan. You've listened to another episode of Car Musings. Please check out the madmorgan.com. Keep your integrity in check, and I will see you next episode. Bye for now.